Just looking forward to the spring game on Saturday, and it's going to be great just to get the fans out. And the thing they're going to be able to see is just see the competition, just how well guys have practiced this spring. You know, we talk about the quarterback position, and you look at Tyrone's doing really well, and then Gerard is also and I would say this: Gerard has taken just tremendous steps here in the last week or so, and he's really closed the gap. So it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to get through Saturday and then to get to fall camp. And also at the running back position, the Jay Gray's looking very good. And then you look at what Foreman also is really running well with the football. And then defensively, we've had some injuries, been beat up some, but just to get to that game on Saturday and then get some guys out, let them play in front of a crowd, and just see how exciting it's going to be.
Questions? Start on the left, Brian.
Yeah, Charlie, I was hoping you could just talk a lot about why this shift to the spread. I mean, really delve into it. Is this something that Joe and Sean came to you and said, "Hey, we really need to do this," or from going through the Big 12 last year, you thought, "Hey, we gotta pick up the pace"?
Well, just going through and what we saw, and just how competitive this league is, and also if you look at the high schools, and I've said it before, 99% of the high schools in the state are spread teams. And so why take a young man who's been in that system and all of a sudden, not so much that we didn't think what we were doing last season wouldn't work, but just knowing that you had to fit with your scheme to your personnel. And with our personnel, you look at Hurd, he's won 2 state championships, and he's won those 2 state championships in a spread offense. And most of the skill guys, especially on offense, that's what they come out of. And just being productive, we felt like that, hey, this is something we can do because we have the athletes. So and then it's all about just getting the ball in playmakers' hand. When you talk about the spread, it's, finding mismatches, create mismatches, but getting the ball in the right people's hand and trying to win outside on the perimeter. And you put so much pressure on defensive ends because a lot of times they don't know if they're getting logged, they don't know if they're getting kicked, they don't know if it's a sprint out, and then do they need to close and take the quarterback. But it's just you're just finding ways where you can just create positive yardage plays.
On your right, Anwar.
All right, Coach. You're going to move the needle by saying Gerard closed the gap on Tyrone. So, what has Gerard done specifically over the past couple of weeks that makes you say that he's shown that type of improvement?
Well, you look at Gerard, and the thing is, he's so athletic. And I always say he's one of those guys who's very light in his feet because the pressure's coming to him. He's a guy that can get himself away from the rush and then create plays on the perimeter by his feet. And where he's made a tremendous improvement is throwing the football. And he's hitting the open receivers. He's finding the open receivers, making the correct checks. And the thing about it is throwing the deep ball, he's opened up and we throw the ball down the field some, and he's doing a great job of doing it. But it's just that he's just so much more comfortable, and that's why I say he's closing the gap. He's so comfortable back there now, and everyone is seeing it, even from his teammates are even seeing it.
Question? Alex on the right.
What's up, Coach?
Good, Alex.
Can you talk a little bit about, it seems like Paul Boyette and Puna Ford have been getting some extra reps this spring just with some of the injuries on the defensive line. Can you talk about what you've seen out of those 2 players this spring, and also a little bit about what each of them brings and kind of where they win?
Well, with Puna and Paul, Paul played a lot for us last season, and the thing about it, with Tank being down, and now he has a chance to really get a lot of reps at the nose position because, we play a 3 down and then we go to 4 down and then he can slide and play the shade. But, just a big body, a big presence inside is a guy that can get off blocks and just create separation. You look at Puna Ford, and the thing he has is just his quickness. He's not very big, but guys never get into his bodies, but get into his body, and you're always talking about, just pressing off blocks and run off blocks. And the thing he can do, he can fit up and not get knocked off, but he can separate off and go make plays. And a really good pass rusher. And then so you watch those 2 guys in the middle, and that's why you see the gain that they're making and how well they're playing. But it's been fun to watch just the progression of those 2 guys.
Rear on your left, Mike.
Charlie, because Saturday's as close as you guys get to a game atmosphere before Notre Dame, do you put more stock into how the quarterbacks do in that atmosphere? And will Gerard get a chance to work with the ones at all?
Well, I'm gonna play both of them with the ones, and what we're gonna do is you know, we're gonna play some ones against ones versus twos, just see how the game goes. But you know, with the atmosphere, you just know, just defensively, I know that we're not just gonna let them go up and down the field. I know our defense is gonna try to go out there and stop them. So it'll be good competition. It'll be great competition, really.
Does this mean more than a usual practice, how they do on Saturday?
More than a usual practice? Oh, it's going to be, it won't be practice now. We're just going to play it just like a game.
Middle, Ryan.
Are you going to let the quarterbacks get hit on Saturday, or are they off limits to contact?
All right, I don't have a two now. Why are you going to let my guys out? Or then I lose one, then what? I'm back to where I was last year. No, it's not so much. We have allowed our defense to wrap them up and just not take them to the ground. But because we're running the replay, you have to hit the quarterback. But we've been smart about it. And I tell our guys, just don't take a cheap shot at him. If he's in open field, I'll usually blow the whistle so they don't. But, you know, what's been challenging in practice is they try to run over some of the DBs, and it happened one time with Tyrone. He lowered his shoulder and ran through a guy. So now on defense they get mad. Now make the quarterback live, coach. You just ran over one of our guys. Okay, let's calm down, guys. We're not. You can hit anybody on the field, but do not hit that quarterback.
On your right, Jeff.
Charlie, with the scrimmage you guys had this past Saturday, and then the scrimmage, I think it was the weekend, you had the clinic. What did you learn about this team, if anything? And I guess, can you talk about just getting to see guys compete in a scrimmage type environment? We
actually scrimmaged today, Jeff, and it was a great, just a good environment, because offensively we made a lot of plays today, big plays too, and that's what you look for, just those explosive plays. And you know, I look at I saw Tyrone, he hooked up with Petey one time on a deep route, and then he hit DeJay. DeJay caught a bubble, made a guy miss, and you know, took it a good distance. But Marcus Johnson caught a deep ball out there today. But you know, the receivers were making plays. Jay Gray had a big long run, just explosive plays on our defense, and they're competing, and that's what you like. And but they're having fun, and so it's been just a better atmosphere out there, just because of how guys are competing and they're understanding, you know, just how, you know, we need to get the big plays, but on defense we can't give up the big plays, can't turn the football over, had some turnovers early. Started off today with a goal line scrimmage, and just made, you know, defensively they won it there. And I think what happened with the defense, since they won the goal line scrimmage, they kind of settled in, and then all of a sudden the offense comes back out and we start driving the ball, and they really drove the ball on the defense and had some really big plays.
On your left, Brian.
Charlie, this is a follow-up to my first question. Were you guys getting pushback from recruits about the offense when you're going up against Baylor, TCU, and other schools where all they promise is playing time and touches? Is that the feedback y'all were getting from recruits?
Yeah, what was really tough, Brian, is that just offensive with the skill guys, it was tough, because what they want to see is explosive. You know, they want to see you be explosive. They want to see if you can get the ball in my hands. Well, coach, if you throw me the ball, can you, you know, where are you going to throw it to me at, and just, you know, where are the big plays? And you're right. And when you look at the Baylors, the TCUs, they're creating those plays, and so skill guys, that's more or less what they're looking for. And so you have to, that's what you have to compete against in recruiting. And we just knew that we needed, how were we going to reach those recruits and somehow sell them, hey, this is what we're going to change, this is what we're going to do. Now come on and get on board with this, and you can be a part of it.
On your right, William.
Coach, can you talk about, you know, your impressions of John Bonney, what you've seen from him so far, and where is your comfortability with the middle linebacker position right now?
Well, Bonnie, you know, he's been a surprise for me, because we played him at the nickel position, and he's done a really good job. The thing he does is can tackle, and you look at, that's a position for us that has to cover the number 2 receiver, and usually you put your slot guys, one of your better players, and has done a great job on the coverage. And then when we blitz him off the edge, has made some plays for us. And then at the middle linebacker position right now, you know, with Santos being down, it's been Tim Cole has worked in there, and then Malik has taken some at the middle position. but we're just rotating guys through there, and Pete Jenkins has taken some, because right now we're so thin at backer, there's just been guys just rotating through.
On your left, Mike.
Charlie, in the NFL draft, last year you didn't have anybody picked. This year it looks like you will. How big of a deal is that for the program to have NFL draft picks every year? And I wonder if you could kind of sum up this year's class that you're going to have.
Well, it's always big when you talk about the NFL and you have a chance to watch them go across the stage or their name pop up and they have a chance to get drafted, because for a lot of them that's been their dream and that's what they truly work for, and now to have an opportunity to go play on the next level. And you know, you look at Malcolm Brown, and that's a name that everyone keeps talking about, has a chance to go in the first round, and I hope it happens for him, not knowing where he's going to fall, because you never know. You look at Hicks, I think he's going to have a chance. Said Reed, and it's, you know, with that class, it's just so hard to say, because you never know. It's all about needs on that level, and you know, when you talk about the NFL, you never know where guys are going to be projected, where they're going to get picked. But I think our guys, I think we'll have a good day. I hope we have a good day.
On your right, Anwar.
Coach, I haven't had a chance to really ask you about on special teams, but you know, can you tell us about the competition going for your kicking and your punting positions, and you know, maybe even at the return spots right now?
Well, really hasn't worked a lot with the returners, but you know, kicking right now, Rose is our field goal kicker, and Becker is doing the punting right now. So, you know, we've worked a lot on, you know, today I probably kicked about 15 field goals, not 15, but 10 to 15. And, you know, Nick hit some, but the thing about it's all about consistency for him. And then with Becker, just getting him in the rushes where he feel the rush, because if he's going to punt the ball, he's got to feel the rush and be comfortable doing it.
Anything else? Hang on a second, Anthony.
Coach, it's a big week of alumni coming back, Letterman's weekend. What's your relationship like with the alumni? You going to have any special guest speakers speak to the team? And just your thoughts of having all the guys back to come see you and the guys.
What we're going to do is we're going to open up practice on Friday for the Letterman and give them a chance to come out, because it's all about it's their program and it's the foundation they've laid, and then it's you're always looking for relationships and just making sure that, you know, it's all about, you know, they always have those great stories, you know, and they get bigger as those years go by. So it's always fun to be around and just get, you know, just talk to them and let them understand that what we're trying to get us accomplished here is still about the pride and the tradition within the program.
On your right, Jeff.
Charlie, we've had, you know, Hutch has been in here, and so has Seth Flowers, and they just talked about how they weren't happy and Wick wasn't happy just in general all offseason with the way the offensive line performed last year. Have you noticed an attitude shift with that group, and how much has it helped that group to have those 4 new bodies in there for these practices this spring?
Well, when you talk about your football team, you have to be good up front, and it's not only the offensive line but the defensive line, because everything is won in the trenches. But you always look for that attitude coming with the offensive line, and we weren't very good last year. And then I told him, I said, you know, with our quarterback, he takes so many hits, but still, though, we were not able to protect the quarterback. We didn't even open up holes to let our running backs go run the ball. But it's just a total different attitude, because I think that just being the embarrassment that they felt last season, I think they want to show that they can prove a point, and we have some guys. But it's always good when you get depth, when you add 4 guys to that group, because it just helps. Now when you go out to practice, you just don't wear down a group. Now you have some guys that you can practice and go develop and get better.
All right, thanks again.
All right, thank you.
Coach.